talk to him a little bit about that match, this tournament. Shane, welcome to the desk. I gotta ask. You've been in so many different situations, right? In finals matches, life on the line. Where does that moment rank in the grand scheme of your career?
I mean, hopefully, the career keeps going, so we'll see.
I mean, we all hope that too, yes. But yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It kept me alive to go in tomorrow. So the only game that mattered isn't, the games that I've played before, championships or whatever, they're done with. That game was what mattered to get into tomorrow. So, I'm just really glad I was able to pull it out. And I think nail on the head with what you guys said of where he's come from when he started and got into the Pro League. And how much more consistent he is. It was a really, really tough series, and I'm glad I clutched that out because I kind of threw on the second map, and I was able to redeem myself.
I want to pass it to the guys too, but I also want to ask one thing that's been kind of a consistent storyline, even through the regular season, is that it's been pretty obvious that like we're seeing an exponential increase in like the skill that we're seeing at the top level. Do you agree? Like as a player who's kind of dominated a lot in the sense of this game, do you agree that we're seeing kind of a new era where the top is pretty stacked?
Yeah, I think so. You just look at the results from this weekend so far, even from the online stage of this season.
Sure.
There's so many that were really close for 5th, 6th. I mean, like I said in the interview before the tournament, anybody in the top 8 has a chance to win.
Right.
I think. Just however they're feeling going into tomorrow, anything's possible.
All right, well, Rapha, congratulations. I just want to pick your brain a little about that last matchup, Visor versus Nyx. Back in the olden days of Quake Champions, at the beginning, in simpler times, it was a very common matchup. But then I feel like there was a bit of an era where there was a rather uncommon pick for both of these players. But now, looking at these champions, at these final 2 days that we've seen so far, this has been one of the most common matchups. We've seen it, 5, 6 times today alone. What's up with that? How come it's seeing such a resurgence?
I think it's because of the way the game feels at the moment. It feels like some of the champions are moving a bit faster, and that means like Nyx and Visor, their mobility really helps, especially in LG fights, machine gun fights, and with how hard people are hitting with rail right now, that's what makes Visor a little bit better sometimes, and why we're seeing, Visor Nyx on Ruins or Visor Nyx on Blood Covenant at the moment. And like, I played the Visor against Noso the match before, and then I had the option to pick this time, and I took Nyx. And I think it just comes down to the draft and your opponent. I think on a couple of the maps, it's a really, really even matchup. There's like annoying situations to deal with both. But
sure.
It's just, it's kind of just a pick your poison. And I think, like I said, sometimes like certain other champions that are available kind of force your hand. So like I know that he's really good with clutch, so that's why I was like, well, if I pick Visor and he picks clutch, Visor has nothing to like close the gap or use mobility, and then he could pick it. So I picked Nyx, which is a much harder matchup, and was just like, I'll just take the 50-50 match instead of potentially gambling, and and then it's something really difficult.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think as we go into tomorrow's games, bit of a generic question, really. I know it gets asked all the time, kind of not even in just Quake, but of all the players that are left in this tournament, we're back on a LAN setting. We haven't had one for quite some time. The level of play is starting to shorten. We are starting to get a lot of players remain on that top level. Who would you like to play against the most tomorrow? From a purely for fun perspective, who do you think is going to give like the best example of Rapha versus, other top level player in the finals? Demonstrate Quake Champions the way it should be done.
I think it would have been nice to play Wenger in the finals last year, so if we are able to get a chance to play in the finals, I think that would probably be fun. Or Kilson and I haven't played in an actual like final in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So I would probably pick one of those two. But you know how Razy likes to show up on the final day?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Awesome.
And you can't count the other guys out at the moment. They're playing lights out as well.
Well, I mean, from our perspective, watching every game, we said it in day one, probably one of the, our most favorite day ones that we'd seen. Day 2 lived up to the hype, and I have to imagine that day 3 is definitely going to carry that torch into the final day. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans, the folks out there, as we wrap day 2 and head into the final day?
we just love and appreciate that you guys watch and support us. And I mean, just look at all the games this weekend, the super intense games. This is why people love Quake. And we're in for a excuse my French, but shit ton more tomorrow.
Awesome. I completely agree. Rapha, congratulations. You gave us I was going to think about I was going to go to bed, but now I've got a little bit extra adrenaline in my body, so it might take me a little bit longer. But I hope you get some rest, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us, and good luck.
Thanks, Sweet.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
it.
problem.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. You can go because I'm going to wrap up. I don't want you to have to stand there awkwardly or anything like that, like these two guys.
Kind of like me, just all the way in the background. Just like
no, thanks again.
Just
Thanks
like
again,
that.
Rapha.